Printing etching ink and acrylic paint together on the gel plate, I got this interesting piece that suggested a landscape in space to me. And I developed it into this. I'll show you the printing process and how I worked it out. Hello print fans, this is the piece that I developed in last week's video, and of the same session I produced this lovely landscape in space. I'll show you the printing process first. This is my workspace where I registered the gel plate because I am printing on a larger paper to have a chic passepartout. I think in English it's art mat or art passepartout, is it? I really recommend that. It looks very nice and professional and makes you even more proud. To not ruin too many expensive papers, I print on Fabriano Bristol paper, which has a wonderful soft feeling to it and is reasonably priced. This is my beloved Akua Intaglio Etching Ink in Mars Black, and this is cut short, but just use a small amount and then brayer it out for quite a while to get it thin and even. Then I'm coming in with a plexi sheet, which I'm placing onto the ink, pressing only in a few spots so that I get the decalcomania effects that I want. And here you can already see on the plexi piece how interesting the shapes are that this technique gives me. I also take a print straight from the plexi first. The result is a little light, but if you don't have a gel plate at all, you can make these on a plastic sheet. But the gel print, of course, isn't comparable to any other medium. My God, I love it so much. Look at that. It's already spacey. I'm afraid to ruin this first print, but my goal for today was to try and print a second, rather transparent layer with my golden open slow drying paint in red, as to see how or if the different paints work together. Now this is important as it really made a difference. I'm using the plastic sheet again, which has the wet etching ink still on it, and so the paints really mix in places and create shapes and variations of color that I really didn't expect. Well, I really had to hold my breath as I got so excited over this. The paint actually made a gray in certain areas that almost looks like silver. And then we have the orange tones, because the red of the golden open is really rather an orange than a red, that suggest fiery objects in or behind some planets in space. And along with the planets there are hundreds, literally, little stars and rocks and comets and whatnot. I'm overwhelmed. Please excuse my vanity, but I always have the feeling it's not me who made this, but the paint itself, communicating with all these wonderful media. Well, that was what I wanted to develop, a space landscape. So watch me do the workout now. Up here I can see the most interesting planets, so I'm going to have this one in a portrait orientation. Using a circle stencil for the planet's shapes, trying for a while to find the right size. This one is really like glowing from the inside, and I don't want to lose that feel. And there's another one here, a bigger one, a larger one, I mean, and it's, yeah, it doesn't have that fire, so it's gonna be like the big brother watching from the side. Sometimes I'm really talking so much bullshit. I'm sorry, but I know you like me talking, so I'll just continue. And I'm giving that one some shadows, basically from all sides. As in this drawing, painting, I don't really know where the sun is coming from. If that up there on the left is our sun, or if the sun is somewhere completely different place. And this one also has a ring of white stones or comets, rocks, whatever, space debris. And it's really a bit weird because it's not like a perfect ring. But you'll see me creating even weirder stuff. Here's another fiery, rocky thingy planet that has some volcanic matter inside. And this one has an oval shape. I don't know, it was just there. I don't know if there's such a thing as oval planets. And to make it look like the volcanic stuff is really inside and the rocky matter is on top, and trying to hold the planet together, I'm giving it some shapes. And clearly, to have a shade, a shadow, you have to decide where the light is coming from. So in this case, it's coming from top left. And as I'm scribbling away, I have some ideas why this one touches me so much. It really reminds me of the science fiction novels that I read as a child, the 70s and 80s great books by Isaac Asimov and Ray Bradbury, John Brunner too. And although I grew up in Germany, I remember that I read them in English. Later then came the comics or graphic novels by Möbius and Enki Bilal and so on and so forth. Big part of my childhood I get carried away with here. And yes, there is another oval planet coming to life, a black one. I happen to have oval stencils, so I'm just creating some oval planets. And this is my world, and in my world there are living oval planets. Thank you, Bob. And I found another round one, and I want this one to be a little different. So it has fire on the outside. Well, a little orange color so that it's a little brighter. And the little one needs shadows as well. And the outside crust, I also make it physical again with some shadows with the light coming from the top left. Now I'm obviously getting into the mood for oval planets. Somehow it's not the exception anymore, but most of them are oval. Yes, thank you for your comment, Divi. She doesn't approve. I think there are like hundreds or thousands even of these little rocks and comets, space debris. And I'm not giving them all shadows. The biggest one I will, and only in some certain areas. Because it's not that I'm too impatient or so, I'm very patient with these things, but I think it's better to not do it everywhere, because then the eye wouldn't know where to look first or mainly, and it's sort of nicer for the eye if you have certain uninteresting areas, if you know what I mean. And this one gets a rocky, moony surface. And some highlights to go with it. Now there's a part that the camera didn't record, I'm sorry. But what you see me doing here is kind of trying to show a sort of explosion or eruption of rocks, because after I made them so physical 3D, I felt like they were coming out of that center. like in an explosion. In the end, I'm not so happy about this one because I don't know if it's really clear. I really have to look at other examples for explosion drawings. And I'm not very happy with this, but I'll leave it like that. Now I have the feeling that the whole thing could use a lot more white. So I'm using my Edding chalk marker. It's, as you see me doing here, you can, tip on it, and if you think it's too bright, then push it away with the finger, which I really like. And I'm trying not to overdo this, because I don't want any particular pieces to be too bright for the whole thing. Some of the planets I want to have a lighter background or a sort of a halo, as you see me do here. Actually, I'm doing it around the whole planet here, and I'm taking some of that back later. Some more highlights for that oval thing, which has another Trabant moon. I don't know what Trabant is in English. Well, I turned on my brain and it's very easy. It's a satellite, actually, which is also a German word. Now I'm working on that rim I made on the left here, and because there were some bright lights behind it, and I thought that would be nice if they shine their sun rays over the rim. And I'm sort of following that line over the whole page, almost the whole page. I can't believe it. I found yet another oval planet. Take that, Ray Bradbury. Remember that Decalcomania piece I made? Pretty much the same colors. That was a landscape with two towers having a skull on top. That was another one of those experiences where I create a realm for myself, a kingdom, so to speak. And it is so exciting. This is the case with this one too. And here, there's a little skull sitting in there. So that's my last mark I'm making here before I finish this. It's a skull satellite for the black moon. Kind of logical, isn't it? And this is pretty much how I want to leave it. Maybe the whole thing has a little less contrast for my liking. What do you think? I thought about changing that, but then I thought I'd destroy the dark magic that's there, especially in the upper part. With the rim and the explosion down there, I'm not so happy. And anyway, it makes the painting interesting. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. This one is probably going to be available as a print in my shop. Hop over there and check my shop out if you like. I'll probably not sell this original, but prints from it. And I have a very exciting video for next week. See you then. Bye.